Hey folks, thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to be doing the August flower, which is a gladiolus. And they've got to be the most prettiest flower. I love how they grow straight up on a stalk and then they bloom from the bottom up. So your biggest flowers are at the bottom and then your next blooms are at the top. And they come in so many different colors. They're so pretty. So I decided to do the gladiolus on this particular stone in my favorite colors, which is purple. So I will be using some DecoArt paint as my usual. And then I'm going to be using some FolkArt paint that is multi-surface because multi-surface paints are much thicker. And I find that they don't let the black bleed through as easily as the DecoArt paint does. So I just thought I would give this one a try. Some of my other ones I have used the multi-surface paint, but this one is going to be completely multi-surface paint, except for obviously the glorious gold that I am applying right now for my frame. And I do this for all of them. So all of my, the flower series for the birth month flowers are all done the same so that they have that consistency or what is the word? They look the same anyways, so that you can tell that they're part of a series. They have those similarities. So every single one of them that I do is going to have this gold frame painted on with my DecoArt Glorious Gold, and they're all going to have a base coat of black, which is also from DecoArt. So what I'm doing first is I am grabbing some lime green and some sap green, and I mix them together, but so this is a flat brush that I'm using. I sometimes use an angle brush as well, but this one tend to work a lot better than for what I wanted than the angle brush. So it is a flat brush, and what I did was I loaded the one side of the brush with the sap green, and then I loaded the other side with lime green, and I just did a brush stroke back and forth in the same direction. So I didn't flip the brush so that the lime green stayed on one side and the sap green stayed on the other, but in the middle they blended together. So I made like a little bud at the top, and then I painted on the stem, and then I did the leaves. So the first leaf that I did turned out absolutely perfect. The second leaf I had a little bit of issues with. I wasn't too concerned about it because I thought, well, I'm going to be covering it up anyways with the bigger flower at the bottom. So I wasn't too worried. But what you can do to fix this problem is adding a little bit of floating medium. I have floating medium that is made by FolkArt, and all you have to do is slightly touch it with your brush so that it is at the end of the colors, and then you can apply it, and that floating medium stretches the paint further and gives you a much sharper edge to it. So you'll see what I mean on this flower, because this particular flower that I am painting right now gave me an awful lot of trouble. And it took me a little while to figure it out that I needed to have some floating medium to really make this work. So I'm still learning on how to do one stroke painting, and it has been quite the journey, but as I learn and as I practice, I will get better at it. And if anybody out there does one stroke painting and sees anything that I'm doing wrong, or you have maybe some tips for me, leave them in the comments below. I read them all, and I just want to bring as much content to you guys as I can. And if there is somebody out there that does have some tips and tricks for me, I would love to read about them and to apply them, and then definitely give credit where credit is due. So you can tell I am having such a heck of a time with this flower. It just looks like I don't know, a bunch of strokes that are kind of just not of anything, just a blob. But I can fix it, and the way that I fix it is I get some of that floating medium. So I reload my brush. I put on violet pansy, some eggplant, and I do the same kind of back and forth stroking on my palette to mix in the two in the center so that I get the eggplant is still on the purest form on the outside, the violet pansies on the purest form on the other side, but in the middle they are blended together. And then I just dip the edge, like I want to say, like it's like putting your toe in the water to test the temperature, you know, that kind of thing, into the white. And that gives me my outside edge. So once I have my brush loaded with paint, I just give a little tiny touch to the floating medium, and look what happens. This is what happens. The brush stroke turns out to be much better. The colors are separated, yet they're blended, if that makes sense. And it looks so much better. It looks more like a real flower. So basically what I do is once I have my paint on my brush, I go in and I have the white part on the outside, and then the eggplant color on the inside. And I just wiggle my brush so that it comes up to a point, and then I bring it back down into the center of the flower. So this is like a two-step kind of flower. So the first one you do is, because I use directions all the time of the compass, that's what I'm going to continue doing. So you're going to paint your first petal facing north. And then your second petal and your third petal will be southeast and southwest. So you have like a triangle. Then the second set of leaves, again only 3, are going to go in between those. So you'll have one that goes south, and then you'll have one that goes northeast and one that goes northwest. So that's how you get your bigger flowers at the bottom of the gladiolus flower. So that's what I've done. And the cool thing about one stroke painting is you can do wet on wet. So what that means is that you don't have to let your paint dry because you're going over top of it, and because you're using the multi-surface paints, it actually does paint over top of it. It doesn't drag the other colors through. So it actually works really, really nice. Now for the center of the flower, I am using a small round brush. I am loading it purely with eggplant. I am making a U shape or a half circle, and then I'm pulling up that paint straight up. So I'm not reloading, I'm just pulling what is already there, and I'm pulling it straight up, and I'm letting it look like it's fuzzy or frayed. Then I come back in with my fine lining brush with pure white, and I put in the stamen stems. So these are the pollen capsules, I guess, that the bees love so much. But this is the center of the flower. Then what I do while that's drying, I come back in with my lime green and my sap green using a round brush, and I'm just adding the little sort of like the buds, or the part where the flower comes out of. I'm just adding those to the top portions of that flower, and then I'm just adding a few extra little pieces to the flower itself. Now I am adding in the caps with, this is moon yellow. Excuse me, this is moon yellow that I'm using, and I'm just simply putting a dash on top of each of those stamens, And I'm not worried about if they're symmetrical, not symmetrical. I'm not worried about their placement as long as that they are on top of the white stamen stems. And that's it. Your flower is complete. So I do need to do a little bit of cleanup because I had some of the paint of the flower go over top of my golden frame. So I do take some of the black paint and I clean it up, and then I have to go in with the gold paint and clean up the gold paint. But it's very simple, very easy to do. So I'm going to take this opportunity while I'm doing my cleanup to do my regular rigmarole stuff here. Let me know if you like the video. You just have to simply give me a thumbs up. If you're new, thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure that you hit that little bell. It's a quick click and you'll get a notification when I post something new. Interesting things that are in the description, all of the paint colors and the paint, like the brands and the names, are all going to be listed in the description below. I also have tutorials listed in every description that can teach you how to make your own fine lining brush, how to make your own blending brush, how to cast your own stones, how to resin. So many really cool and quick videos for you to watch to learn a little bit more just outside of the painting. I also have, every year at the end of the year, I post a video of everything that we have done together in that year. And then in the description of that video are the links to the full video of each of the projects that we did. So if you see something that you like that I've done in the past, you can just go and click on the link for that and it takes you right to it. So I have 3 years worth. I can't believe it's been over 3 years that I've been doing this. This has been crazy. And I've had so much fun doing it. And all of that content is there for you. Make sure that you share this as well. If you know somebody who would be really interested in this, don't be afraid to share this. This is awesome that I have so many fun projects to do, and that I have done, that if you know somebody that would really enjoy it, share it. Let them know about it. So I'm almost finished with this stone. I'm just going to finish up here with the gold frame and make sure everything's nice and cleaned up. I let it dry for 24 hours before I give it a coat of resin, and then it's finished. So let me know what you think about it. Leave me a comment. And remember, folks, life is what you make it. So get creative.